Hey everyone, this is Donnie Kerr. It's been a while since I've done a Tech in 10. I've been busy delivering a lot of Microsoft Agent solutions for clients. So anyway, this one was a particularly interesting challenge because there's in the preview of M365 Copilot using Copilot Studio to connect to Fabric data agents. That doesn't work when you publish the agent to M365 Copilot. So I had a case for a client or two that was a big problem because our whole solution depended on multiple Fabric data agents connecting to a Copilot Studio agent. So I had to come up with a workaround, and this Venmo here, this Tech in 10, is about how I solved that by switching from Copilot as the orchestrator to a Foundry agent as an orchestrator. So the goal was, again, to have M365 Copilot agent be able to talk to two different Fabric data agents. Each Fabric data agent specializes in a certain domain or focus area. So one, in this case, one is focused on the downtime of a manufacturing plant. And the other agent is focused on the overall equipment effectiveness. So I have one prompt that says, what is the most recent downtime event for plant 2? And the agent responds to that. And I had it show me which query it used in Fabric data agent and which tool did it use. So it called the appropriate downtime agent and with this query and got this result. And the next prompt was, what is the average OEE of plant 1? Overall equipment effectiveness of plant 1, and here's the query that it used and what agent it used. So it's important that whenever an M365 Copilot with a Copilot orchestrator, this would just do nothing. It would just respond with the fallback that says, I can't help you with that. So it's a big bug that Microsoft is working on, and hopefully it will have resolved soon. But this is a good solution here. So what you have to do is publish directly to Microsoft Copilot 3 from Foundry. So inside of Foundry, this is a Foundry agent, and I did this all in no code, by the way. And so when you publish to, you can publish this new features in preview, publish directly to M365 Copilot. So when you click that, you can give it some information and then publish it out. And then it shows up in M365 Copilot. That's a good feature. So what I have here is in this Foundry agent is I've added two Fabric IQ tools into the toolbox that this Foundry agent uses. One goes to the OEE agent, and one goes to the downtime specialist agent in Fabric. And over here is an example of the agent that that specializes in the OEE data within this data source. But I have many use cases, not just this manufacturing one, where clients want to have multiple data sources integrated into Fabric. And then you don't want one agent to talk to a bunch of different high-end enterprise system data sets because it would be too much context for it. So we specialize it into these specialist agents. So this is just a simple example here of that for me to prove out that this approach works. So I have this one, and then I have this downtime agent over here, and it's focused on the downtime history in data. So you give it some instructions, publish each agent out. They become available here under tools. So if I click add, you can see that you can choose a Fabric IQ OneLake catalog as one of the options. But if you browse, you can see that bunch of bunch of options show up here, and Fabric IQ is one of those. So once I selected that, excuse me. Once I selected that and said add tool, this is where you pick which Fabric data agent you wanted to use. So there's the downtime agent, and there's the OEE one. And so that's how I selected which ones I wanted to add to this particular agent. So this one lake catalog is pretty powerful. It doesn't have to be just agents that you connect to. So I did that and gave it some instructions. It says, for natural language prompts related to downtime or downtime history, downtime reasons, etc., hand off this request to the downtime agent. For any other request, hand it off to the OEE, the focused agent. And then I also told it to include which tool it was used in its response, and then provide the SQL query, just to prove that it's using the right tool and the right query when it does it. So that's what you saw up here in this response, is that it said which tool and then what the query results were, what the query was. So anyway, that's how that works. And simple, no code, write some instructions to tell it how to orchestrate which Fabric agents to call. And then the key was, and this is a very important point, is when you publish it out to M365, you have to tell it, since it's an agent itself, and M365 Copilot agent, and it's using a different model than your Foundry agent is, I have to tell it basically, don't think on your own, only pass the prompt from the user over to the Fabric Foundry agent. Don't respond using your own general knowledge. Just pass what the results are from the Foundry agent back. So this is basically it's a hack to force it to use the Foundry agent's Opus model instead of using the default that's in Copilot. So it's a powerful way to get more leverage out of the backend Foundry agent that it's connecting to. Anyway, that's a long story, but that's what happens. You have to put this in there, otherwise it's going to make up its own answer and it's not going to look good. So it's not going to be good. So it seems to work well by steering it in this way. So once that's published out, it works great. So if I said, summarize the downtime history of plant 1 over the last year. So now it's going off, passing that prompt over to the Foundry agent, who then is orchestrating which of the tools, which of the Fabric data agents to bring in. Of course, when I'm demoing it, it throws an error, which can happen in preview features. So let me just generate a new conversation here. Hopefully it will work this time. So a lot of previews of things going on here. The preview of Foundry connecting to Fabric IQ, the publishing of an agent out to M365 Copilot, that's in preview. Fabric data agents just came out of preview. And so, oops, unfortunately, it's not. Let me just try to give it a different one. See if we can get get it to stop having these system errors. Yep, so we got the overall equipment effectiveness over the past year, what the query was, and then it called the one that's the OEE specialist. So let's try the downtime one. What is most recent downtime event for plant one? Now this one should orchestrate and hand off to the downtime agent and produce the results. Yep, there we go. Most recent downtime event for plant one was actually a long staffing break, ironically. So, but it shows the query and then it shows that it used the downtime agent that we are connecting to. So it's working great as expected, except, I got to get over some of the random system errors that you might see since everything is in preview. But this solution is going to work great for, and because it's switching from Copilot Studio as the orchestrator to the Foundry platform, it opens up more powerful features like memory and other different model selections that you can have in Foundry. So it's a good architecture overall. So glad to share how I solved this, and hopefully they will fix the Copilot Studio one so we can still have that option as well for multi-agent fabric data agent orchestration. Thanks. Have a good one.